What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about what's in my truck as far as gear goes. This is kind of just stuff that I have found that I've needed or know that I would like to have in case things aren't going quite my way that day. So this is just kind of stuff that is always in here. Never leaves the truck. It's dedicated to this specific vehicle. So I'm going to start out with a long sleeve light jacket. This changes out throughout the seasons. I live in the Southwest United States, high desert area, so nights get pretty cold in the 50s, 40s, 50s, hot during the day. So it's something just good to have. A nice little light jacket. Keep a backup one as well, so in case it's one of those real cold nights, you can layer it on. My wife's with me. She has something to wear because we all know they're not thinking of this stuff. So I am for her. So another one that stays tucked away in a cubby, so it really never gets, I honestly forgot I even had it. A high quality wool blanket. I kept from my time in the Army. This is a really nice thing to have. Wool is an amazing fabric. If I could afford a wool jacket, I would probably buy one. But this is a really good backup thing to have. Keeps you warm, keeps you cool, keeps you dry. Wool is really nice, and it's not super itchy. I mean, it is wool, so it is a little itchy. But this is something I like to have in here if I need to stay in the truck for some reason. And I've honestly used it when I do some car camping as well. Some different rags. Pretty self-explanatory. Rags are great to have for different things. Cleaning after kids, messes, whatever it may be. For me, I have a big old slobbery dog, so she gets wiped off before she gets in the truck after a walk or a hike. So a couple rags, good to have. Let's move on to recovery gear. In theory, I spend a lot of time in some very remote areas by myself. So a lot of this stuff, I'm going to be relying on my general knowledge and skill of off-roading and knowledge just to not get myself into a situation I know I shouldn't be in. Learned long ago, tuck away your ego. Keeps you out of trouble if you do that. But in case I do get into trouble, I have some recovery. So I have some soft shackles to be able to hook onto. About a 25 foot recovery strap. Honestly, probably not long enough, but it's what I have, so it's in here. Probably 50 foot would be much better. It just gives you a lot more options with that extra length. But the soft shackles, I can't tell you enough. Those are great. Way better than D-rings. Hook onto things, get them around areas D-rings can't get into. So a set of soft shackles is a great option to have. For me, I have a notoriously bad habit of always forgetting a hitch for whenever I need to pull something. So I end up buying them. I think I have 5 sitting in the garage. So I now keep one in my truck. This stays in here all the time. So if I need to pull something, not a problem. It's in here. It's here to stay. Set of mechanics gloves. These are pretty worn out. They're ready to be replaced, getting holes in the gloves and stuff. But these stay in the door. Just this weekend, helping family do some yard work and carrying some palm fronds. So just good to have. Good to have for a lot of reasons. So these are dedicated to the truck gloves. Guess we'll move on to the smaller gear here. Set of flashlights. One stays in my door, one stays in the passenger's door. So, have a flashlight, good idea. Dedicated little pocket knife. This also stays in my door. Specifically, this one has the serrations, and it stays in almost like a locked cubby. It's not locked, but it's secured shut. So in case something happens, I have specifically chosen one with serration blades, so I can cut a seatbelt if needed. And also it's not going to go flying around because it's in that secure cubby. Next, got a pair of multi-tools. Leatherman Wave's my primary one that sits up in the front of the truck with me. I carried this throughout my time in the Army. Amazing multi-tool. Can't recommend it enough. Maybe I'll do a review on this as well. I've carried this 10, 12 years through some interesting times. So this is a great tool to have. I found this when I was out on a walk with the dogs one day. It's just a snap-on multi-tool. Now that I have it, I've realized having 2 sets of pliers is a really good idea. If you need to tighten a fastener that is not secure on both ends or on one end, it's really good to have 2 sets of pliers. Next, just a big lighter, self-explanatory. Fire, good to have. Set of batteries, replace batteries in the flashlight that I may need, so that goes over there. A baggie of ibuprofen and Tylenol. I reserve this for, you know, pretty extreme circumstances. I tried to avoid taking this stuff anymore. Throughout my time in the Army, I took it way too much, like candy. And now I've realized what kind of harm this does to your body. It's good if you really, really need it. But if you're just got minor aches and pains or a headache, just don't even bother with it. It's some pretty nasty stuff. It does help symptoms, but side effects are pretty crazy in the long run. A large knife. I bought this when I was young. I don't know, 17, 18. I thought it was such a good idea to have a giant knife. I think I've taken it out of the sheath maybe twice. I don't know. It's in here. I'll keep it in here. It doesn't really cause any trouble, you know, any space issues. I guess I'd use it to dig. Most jobs can be done with a pocket knife. Rarely would I need this. If I need this, then if I truly, truly need it, I've got bigger issues. So, big knife. Couple pins. Pins are good to have for obvious reasons. A roll of cheap 550. I don't know, Walmart brand or something. So I have that if that's needed. Cordage is good to have. Now that I think about it, bungee cord. But now that I think about it, I also normally carry 2 to 3 ratchet straps. They're just, you know, the cheap orange ones. Those are really good to have. If you pull a lot of trailers or have stuff strapped, that's just good to have around. For some reason, they're not my truck, so there's something I need to go put in here when I'm done. Extra cables for whatever devices you have. I keep a couple, 2 or 3, so people in the back have power if they need it. Obviously, the one that my phone goes into when I'm driving. An inverter. So I drive an older truck. I don't have a 110 outlet throughout the truck. And so if you need it, plug a laptop in. Generally what I use it for. And then also my wife, she is pumping. So, you know, we have a newborn baby. So she's sitting in the back seat with him. She can pump and produce milk for him. So that's good to have here. A battery jump starter. This is probably the number one thing to have for most everyday stuff. I've jumped my own battery a few times. People in the parking lot, it's super easy. You don't have to put your truck in front of anybody's vehicles anymore. You just grab this little pack, you take it over there, it jumps it, no problem. It has a little flashlight on it, USB drive, so if you gotta, you know, charge your phone up, can't do it in the car, you have the option here. This is such a good tool. I got this at Costco. I think it was $80. I think it might have came with 2 of them, but I can't. This, if you could only have one piece of gear in your car for realistic everyday needs, this is it. This is what you have. Couple, you know, nut bars. This goes in my door. I know you guys have been there. Get super, super hungry. It's almost becomes painful. I put these in my door. I smash one real quick, and then we're good to go. So those are good to have. So my truck, I have 190,000 miles on it. I take care of my stuff, all of my gear. Number one piece of gear I have is my truck. So I run this, I don't know, once every 3 to 6 months. It helps with fuel mileage, which my truck is pretty atrocious on, but just little things. I try to take care of all my stuff as best as possible. Let's see. Next, at least 1 gallon of water. I rotate this style of jug out every month or 2. This plastic leaches into the water. It's really bad for your health. So this gets rotated out. If I'm going on a long trip like we're about to, I'll carry 2 or 3 gallons. I'm about to do some really remote driving from one location to another, but in order to get there, I have to drive through some really remote areas of Arizona. It'll be 20 to 30 miles between any type of civilization, so extra water is absolute necessity. So that's a big one. A pretty thorough first aid kit. I can do most things that are needed with this first aid kit. Obviously nothing huge, but your minor to moderate injuries can be handled with my first aid kit and my amazing paint job of my Red Cross there. Some cash, a couple $100 of cash. This is my my daily spending cash. If I don't want to use a card, I have my cash here. Haircut, cash only businesses, whatever. I have cash. Cash is king. We already talked about it in my get home bag, but always have some cash on me. And then a dog leash. I somehow always forget a dog leash, so in case one of my dogs don't have one, if I need one, I always use it first primary use as a dog leash, but I have a dog leash here. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all the gear I have in my truck. Oh, and also I keep a firearm as well, inside of a locked safe inside my truck. Generally not going to show that though, but that is also in here. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, trying to get to 1,000 followers, that would be, or subscribers, that would be great. Have a good one.